Good afternoon. This is Michelle Cummings-Steele, Chair of the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation. I would like to call this meeting of the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation to order. For each commissioner, I'll call your name and ask if you are present. Commissioner Anderson.
Present.
Commissioner Gentry. Commissioner Haynes.
Present.
Commissioner Hughes.
Present.
Commissioner Johnston.
Present.
Commissioner Scott Barnes.
Present.
I want to go back. Commissioner Gentry, are you present? If I'm not mistaken, she'll be in at 12:15. The Parks Board must vote on the record that the COVID-19 pandemic requires it to hold a telephonic meeting as permitted under the Governor's Executive Order number 16, and that contrary rules are suspended. If anyone would like to propose a motion to adopt the telephonic meeting, please raise your hand and I will call on you. Commissioner Haynes.
So moved.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Commissioner Scott Barnes.
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. We'll go through a roll call vote of the commissioners that are present. Commissioner Anderson.
Approve.
Haynes. Commissioner Haynes.
Approve.
Commissioner Hughes.
Approve.
Commissioner Johnston.
Approved.
Commissioner Scott Barnes.
Approve.
Thank you so much. The motion passes. I just want to add a note for our audience. For those listening at home, the Parks Board members here are calling in remotely. They are in separate places. When I ask them to raise their hand, that's an action occurring through the software. If you are not muted and are not speaking, please do so now. I have a little bit of feedback. Thank you so much. We'll move now to the appeal of decisions pursuant to the provisions of 2.68.030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws. Please take notice that decisions of the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under a common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or other entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney. I hope that you all have had an opportunity to read the minutes from our February meeting. We'll move now to consideration of the minutes. Is there a motion for approval? Please signify by raising your hand, and I will call on you. Commissioner Scott Barnes.
I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you so much. I'll accept a second. Commissioner Hughes.
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. We will take a roll call vote. Is there any discussion of the minutes? Any changes? We'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Anderson.
Approve.
Commissioner Gentry. Commissioner Haynes.
Approve.
Commissioner Hughes.
Approve.
Commissioner Johnston.
Approve.
Commissioner Scott Barnes.
Approve.
Thank you so much. The motion passes. Director Odom, we're moving now to Metro Council referrals. Are there any referrals from council members present?
Council Member Van Reese is present with us, as is Council Member Hurt.
All righty. Council Member Van Reese, would you like to address the board?
I have another meeting at 12:30. I just wanted to jump in and thank you again so very much for your service to our city, and stay healthy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Councilwoman Hurt, I know that you'll address us later in the agenda, but wanted to give you an opportunity.
No, I'll wait. Thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your service. And I will speak during the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you also for being here. We have no old business before us. We'll move now to the consent agenda. I will accept a motion to accept the consent agenda in its entirety. If you would raise your hand, commissioners. Anyone would like to propose a motion? Commissioner Haynes.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Hughes.
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. We'll move now to a roll call vote. One moment. Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner,
Approve.
thank you. Commissioner Haynes,
Approve.
Commissioner Hughes,
Approve.
Commissioner Johnston,
Approved.
Commissioner Scott Barnes.
Approve.
Thank you so much. The motion passes. We'll move now to new business. 03-21-02. Ms. Sharon W. Hurt, President of Metropolitan Minority Caucus, requests the board to rename Hadley Park to Kwame Leo Lillard Park. Councilwoman Sharon Hurt is present to speak into this issue. Councilwoman Hurt, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Good afternoon. Before I start with my comments, I must share that immediately following Kwame's passing, I had an overwhelming outpouring of community members emphatically stating that Hadley Park should be named after Kwame and specifically calling upon me to lead this charge. On October 6, 2020, I made a passionate plea for you to change the name of Hadley Park to the Nashville Freedom Riders. While I believe that was a great proposal, today I am honored to submit to you an even greater proposal to rename Hadley after freedom rider, former council member, civil rights pioneer, community activist, and the city's beloved son, Kwame Lillard. Kwame labored to teach our own history, to ensure that our entire community could understand what it took to reach today and expand upon the history of our city. Kwame graduated from Pearl High School in 1957 and from the Tennessee State University in 1961. That same year, Kwame participated in the Nashville sit-ins to protest segregation and the unjust and unequal treatment of Black people. Kwame did not fight injustice so that Black people could assimilate into majority culture. He fought against injustice so that Black people would have the freedom to just be themselves and still achieve. Black people are still seeking that freedom over 50 years later. In an interview with the Tennessean, Kwame explained that freedom is not a destination. It's a place where you continue to push for the best in humanity. Freedom is a journey that spans from generation to generation, and Kwame continued on that journey all of his life. He was never afraid to speak truth to power. He started the African Street Festival in 1983 as a co-founder of the African American Cultural Alliance to highlight and honor the cultural and historical background of people of African descent, which grew exponentially at Hadley Park. Kwame poured into so many at Hadley every year, orchestrating a tour or managing vendors for TSU Homecoming. I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, and it unfolds as it should. This request today is divinely ordered. Kwame appealed to rename Hadley to the Nashville Freedom Riders, not knowing one day that request would be for a Nashville Freedom Rider himself. Kwame Lillard was Hadley Park. I worked with him for 20 plus years in the same space. And I am very honored to stand before you and make this request, for I know what he fought for and how hard he fought. Being a child of Nashville and still standing tall for everything that he believed in. Please honor him and the community well by renaming Hadley Park in his memory, including the Minority Caucus, countless community members. This proposal has had expressed support of Senator Gilmore and Representative Harold Love. I thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you so much for your presentation here today, Councilwoman Hurt. We appreciate you and your time. I wanted to ask the board members if there are any questions for Councilwoman Hurt at this point, at this time. If so, please signify by raising your hand, or any comments. Councilwoman Gentry. I'm sorry. Commissioner Gentry.
Yeah, please pump your brakes here, sister. Okay. So literally no questions. I just want to thank Councilwoman at Large, Sharon Hurt, for bringing this forward. You know, it was probably everybody's instant, at least it was my instant thought at the time of his passing, that it would be a wonderful way to honor the myriad contributions that Kwame Leonard made, not only as a freedom rider, but all that he continued to be engaged in. I had the honor of being present at his celebration of life at First Baptist Church, Capitol Hill. And the sentiments that were shared were, if nothing else, extremely consistent with his life and his living. From the comments made by the mayor, when you talk about speaking truth to power, this was an individual who gave no quarter, right? He was very clear and very adamant about the things that he was clear and adamant about. His passions were deep, his passions were long running, and his passions were not a secret to the citizens here in Nashville. So again, thank you, Councilwoman Hurt, Councilwoman at Large, Hurt, for coming forth with that information, and glad to hear that there is broad support for this recommendation. And I look forward to continued discussions in committee as we move forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate that. And I just want to add to your comments that the last interview that Kwame had was actually with Soledad O'Brien. And this past Sunday, they premiered the Nashville, Tennessee sequence of their Disrupt and Dismantle series that they are premiering on, I guess, or running on BET. And Kwame spoke there. And it was a week or two after that I actually called her staff to let her know that he had passed. And there he spoke truth to power. He did not bite his tongue, but the world, the nation now sees the legacy and the iconic spirit that he conveyed each and every day. That we had the pleasure and the honor of seeing and hearing, even though it may have been challenging, but that's how we become the best that we can be. You know, to be able to have those opposite perspectives come to make us all greater and better. And today, I ask of you to let the best of us shine and let people know that Nashville is that place where the right thing can and will be done.
Again, thank you so much, Council Lady Hurt. We thank you so much for being here. Thank you for speaking into this issue as well. Commissioner Gentry, I do see the hand. Commissioner Hughes, are you raising your hand?
Well, yes, I was, but I thought you were moving on, so.
Okay. We are going to defer this.
I just wanted to thank Councilmember Hurt for bringing this to us. And I wholeheartedly think it's a great idea. And I'm especially taken with this particular park that Kwame was so attached to. It just seems like
absolutely
perfect, a perfect match. So thank you for bringing it to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Hughes. I apologize. The hand was coming in and out, it was showing up and then going away. So I wanted to make sure that I did call on you. We are going to defer this to our naming committee. That committee will meet next month. Okay. We're going to move now to 03-21-03. Mr. Joe Goldthreet, Executive Director of the Friends of Hadley Tennis Program, requests board approval to raise funds for the tennis program. Director Odom, is there a staff recommendation?
Staff recommends approval.
Thank you so much. If any of our commissioners would like to propose a motion to this effect, please raise your hand and I will call on you. Commissioner Hughes?
I move approval.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Commissioner Scott Barnes?
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. We'll go. Are there any questions or any comments regarding this that's before us? Seeing none. Okay, seeing none, we'll go through a roll call vote. Commissioner Anderson.
Approve.
Commissioner Gentry.
Approve.
Commissioner Haynes.
Approve.
Commissioner Hughes.
Approve.
Commissioner Johnston.
Approved.
Commissioner Scott Barnes.
Approve.
Thank you so much. The motion passes. 03-21-04, Ms. Rebecca Ratz, Executive Director of the Friends of Shelby Park and Bottoms, requests board approval of an in-kind grant for the Shelby Park and Bottoms Improvements 2021 with an estimated total value of $57,000. Please note that there is no match or other obligation from Metro Parks and/or Metropolitan government related to this grant as described below. Painting of the art room, classroom, game room, and team room at the Shelby Park Community Center. The painting will be completed by professional painters who are licensed and insured, $2,000 value. Repair of the Mission Shelter by Lake Sevier. The shelter was damaged when a tree fell on it in January 2020. The construction will be completed by licensed and insured professionals at $35,000 value. Construction of a teaching pond at the Shelby Bottoms Nature Center. The pond will be designed and built as part of the American Society of Landscape Architects, ASLA, ACE Mentor Legacy Project in conjunction with the 2021 National Conference on Landscape Architecture, which will take place in Nashville in November of 2021. ASLA designers will work with students and staff at the Nature Center to design the project. Friends of Shelby will coordinate all necessary documentation, insurance, and permitting. Construction will take place following the conference. Estimated value $20,000. Director Odom, is there a staff recommendation?
Staff recommends approval.
Thank you so much. If anyone would like to propose a motion to this effect, please raise your hand and I will call on you. Commissioner Scott Barnes.
I move to approve.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Hughes.
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions? Please raise your hand and I will call on you. Seeing none, we'll go through a roll call vote. Commissioner Anderson.
Approve.
Commissioner Gentry.
Approve.
Commissioner Haynes.
Approve.
Commissioner Hughes.
Approve.
Commissioner Johnston.
Approve.
Commissioner Scott Barnes.
Approve.
Thank you so much. The motion passes. 03-21-05, Ms. Ellen Taylor, President of Friends of Fort Nashboro, requests permission from the board to establish a Friends group for Fort Nashboro. Director Odom, is there a staff recommendation?
Staff recommends approval, and Ms. Taylor is present to offer comments.
Thank you so much. Ms. Taylor?
Hi, y'all. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Oops.
We can hear you.
Okay, that's great. Okay, I appreciate this. We've been working hard to get this going, and we're so excited and looking forward to working with y'all. And I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you so much. We're glad that you're here. We appreciate your comments. If anyone would like to propose a motion to accept, I will call on you. Please raise your hand. Commissioner Hughes.
I move approval.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Commissioner Anderson.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. We'll go. Are there any questions or comments? Commissioner Scott Barnes.
Yeah, I guess I was just curious to find out if there had ever been a Friends of group for Fort Nashboro. Is this the very first? Was there ever one originally?
No.
I'm glad there is one now, or hopefully there will be.
Yeah, thank you.
Are there any additional questions? Comments? Seeing none, we'll go through a roll call vote. Commissioner Anderson?
Approve.
Commissioner Gentry?
Approve.
Commissioner Haynes?
Approve.
Commissioner Hughes?
Approve.
Commissioner Johnston?
Approve.
Commissioner Scott Barnes?
Approve.
Thank you so much. The motion passes. 03-21-06, Ms. Gretchen Pritchett, President of the Nashville Parks Foundation, requests the board to accept a donation of $100,000 in support of the Fort Negley Master Plan. The donation is granted through NPF on behalf of Partnership from Core Development and Hines. Please note that there is no match or other obligation from Metro Parks and/or Metropolitan government related to this grant. Director Odom, is there a staff recommendation?
Staff recommends approval.
Thank you so much. If anyone would like to propose a motion to this effect, please raise your hand and I'll call on you. Commissioner Hughes?
I move approval.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Commissioner Gentry?
A second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments on this motion? Seeing none, I'll go through a roll call vote. Commissioner Anderson?
Approve.
Commissioner Gentry?
Approve.
Commissioner Haynes?
Approved.
Commissioner Hughes?
Approve.
Commissioner Johnston?
Approve.
Commissioner Scott Barnes?
Approve.
Thank you so much. We'll move now to 03-21-07, nomination of park board officers as per section 1000.4 of the Metro Parks Policy Manual. The election will be held in April. I will open the floor to accept a motion. To accept nominations for chairperson. Commissioner Gentry.
I'd like to nominate Michelle Steele, chair.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Hughes.
Second.
Are there any other nominations for chair? Commissioner. All righty, we will. We have a motion on the floor and a second. Is this to? I'm sorry, Commissioner Gentry. Is this to?
So we're just nomination. Yes, it's just nomination. So we're just not creating a slate. We don't need to make a motion. Create a slate.
Exactly. I got you.
All right.
I'm going to accept a motion to close the nominations. That's where I was trying to get to.
I move that we close on the said names.
Thank you so much. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Hughes. It's been properly moved and seconded. I will now open the floor for vice. We have to vote. Take it by roll call. Commissioner Anderson.
Approve.
We're closing the. I'm sorry. Let me go back because I'm messing up on my notes. I'm accepting. We have a motion on the floor to close the nominations for chairperson. So now I'm going through the roll call vote. Commissioner Anderson.
Approve.
Commissioner Gentry.
Approve.
Commissioner Haynes.
Approved.
Commissioner Hughes.
Approve.
Commissioner Johnston.
Approve.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Scott Barnes.
Approve.
Thank you. The motion passes. We'll now open the floor for nominations on vice chairperson. If you would indicate by raising your hand, Commissioner Gentry.
Nominate Susanna Scott Barnes as vice chair.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Anderson.
Second.
Thank you so much. Are there any other nominations for chairperson? I'll accept a motion to close the nominations for vice chairperson.
So moved.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Gentry.
A second.
Thank you so much. The faces are not popping up, so I can't see who is saying what. I apologize. The motion has been properly seconded. We will now go through roll call vote. Commissioner Anderson.
Approve.
Commissioner Gentry.
Approve.
Commissioner Haynes.
Approved.
Commissioner Hughes.
Approved.
Commissioner Johnston.
Approve.
Commissioner Scott Barnes.
I'm not sure. Should I vote on this?
You know?
Just say yes. Keep it right.
We're closing the nominations.
Approve.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That motion passes. We will now open the nominations for secretary. always get so confused on this. We still have to, I'll accept a motion for secretary, nominations for secretary. We'll open that. Commissioner Hughes.
I nominate Director Odom.
That's why I get so confused. Oh, okay. Any other nominations for secretary? I'll accept a motion to close the nominations, please. Commissioner Hughes?
So moved.
Thank you so much. Is there a second?
I second Sharon Gentry.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. We will go through now a roll call vote to close those nominations. Commissioner Anderson?
Approve.
Commissioner Gentry?
Approved.
Commissioner Haynes?
Approve.
Commissioner Hughes?
Approve.
Commissioner Johnston?
Approve.
Commissioner Scott Barnes?
Approve.
Thank you so much. The motion passes, and we close the nominations on those three positions. We will now move to capital projects update by Tim Netsch.
Thank you, Dr. Steele, and good afternoon, everybody. There has been some progress on projects since the report was prepared, so I'll just hit on the highlights, changes since last month. In Centennial Park on the Children's Memory Garden, those bids have been received. Procurement is reviewing them, so hopefully we'll see those soon at Parks and can move forward on that construction award process. The Elmington Tennis Courts refurb project, those bids are due tomorrow, so that one is moving forward at a nice clip. And for the Hadley Park Pavilion project, those funds have been unfrozen. So that one, which has been on hold for some time, is going to move forward, and we'll look forward to finding out whether we need to change the text on the monument sign. Those are the big changes this month. Happy to answer any questions.
Tim, I have a question.
Yes.
On Centennial Park, what about the rest of it seems like it's going really slow, the entire restoration, renovation that we've been under for in process for a long time. I drove by there the other day and just made me think to ask you.
Yeah, it has been going really slow. There have definitely been some delays. Most of those are attributable to supply chain issues, most notably with crab orchard stone, and then with some of the cast stone at the entry monuments, and then the weather for the last couple of weeks has not helped us at all. So I had a progress meeting with the general contractor earlier today, and they are giving us an updated project schedule. So we're still looking at spring, which is what I've been reporting for the last couple of months. A specific date is I should have an update from them on that soon. There's not actually that much work left to get done at this point. We've just got to get the materials on site and the weather to cooperate to wrap it up.
Thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate the report. Are there any other questions before we move on? All right, we'll move now to upcoming special activities and events. Jackie Jones.
Good morning. Good morning. So I'm really excited because for the first time in months, I have more than 2 events to tell you about. The first one comes up this Saturday. Actually, we have 2 events on Saturday. One is the Weed Wrangle. It starts at 8 a.m. at Cumberland Park. The second is the Richland Farmers Market at Richland Park. That event starts at 9 a.m. Then on the 7th, we have the Music City Disc Golf Tournament. That event starts at 6:30 at Cane Ridge Park. Then on the 21st, we have another event. It's called Shop Black Nashville. That event is at Hadley Park at 2 p.m. Excuse me. Then on the 27th, we have an event that many of you all are already familiar with, the Southeast Nashville Easter Egg Hunt and Festival. is at Southeast Park. The event starts at 7 a.m. And if you need more details about any of these events, it's on our website. That concludes my report.
Thank you so much. We'll move now to the report of the director.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Our staff has been working diligently as usual, and we have submitted our FY22 operating budget request. It was due earlier this month, or late last month, late last month. And we got that in. Our requests actually total about $2.3 million in improvements. That comes out to a net of 1.8 after we deduct the 2% reduction scenario that our departments were requested to send. Our reduction scenario totaled about a little bit over $800,000, and ours was a combination of revenue reduction and expense reduction. We have a meeting to chat with the administration and the finance department later this month to walk through our investment requests, and I'm hopeful about that. In general, the administration has been supportive of the department, and so has Metro Council. So I'm hopeful about those meetings. The capital spending plan will be on the council agenda for tonight. We are proposed to receive an appropriation of about $24 million, and hopefully that will make it through. Most of that request is comprised of deferred maintenance or maintenance items from across the department. As you all know, I guess I'm preaching to the choir, but you all know we have a pretty large park system here that spans the entire county. And because of some spending or some funding challenges and staffing challenges, we have a backlog, a significant backlog. So I am hopeful that we will get approved for this significant amount of funding so that we can move forward with some of the maintenance and repair items in the system. Our community center staff is meeting with the Tennessee Department of Health to talk about some of our select community centers being used as vaccination locations. We want to certainly do our part in this effort to battle COVID, and what better place to have vaccinations available than community centers. They won't be at all centers, but hopefully we will have those available in some of the centers. Our community centers division will also be kicking off the first youth soccer league. It'll be at Madison Community Center on this coming Saturday, so we're looking forward to that. Additionally, the Community Centers Division has started evaluating how we will implement the summer enrichment program and what format that will take, given we are still in the midst of the global pandemic. So we should have some kind of firm plan to move forward in the next couple of weeks, and I will share that with you all. Want to say a special thank you to our Consolidated Maintenance Division for their cleanup of Brook, Mead, Park, and Greenway. I believe Commissioner Anderson mentioned it at the end of our last Parks Board meeting, and we had already been in discussion with the mayor's office and coordinating with the Homeless Impact Division of Social Services and Metro Police to work to clean up that Greenway and Park. And so we did last month our first cleanup and continue to coordinate with those organizations. We have found that some concerned citizens and generous residents here had been dropping off clothes and supplies there at the park for displaced residents, which contributed to the abundance of trash and garbage and things like that. But again, we are coordinating with the Homeless Impact Division of Social Services to perhaps find another location where those donations can be made and not in the park. And then our Consolidated Maintenance Division will actually visit that location in the next week or so after things dry out from the rain and snow to continue those cleanup efforts.
Monique?
Yes, sir.
On that topic, this past weekend, apparently it was very active there. We still have a lot of homeless sleeping in that park, and I know we're not supposed to have anybody spending the night in the park. Mm-hmm. And it might have been cleaned up a month ago, but I don't know about if anybody else got it. There were a lot of complaints this weekend, a lot of aggressive behavior. And it's as much as we cleaned up once, I don't think that took care of it. And
no, it didn't.
Yeah, so I'm curious why we allow the camping out in the parks, because we've been through this before, over the last many years. And
right.
Are we addressing the overnight sleeping? Are we?
We are. Okay. We are, and I would thank you for those comments. And absolutely, one visit or one cleanup is not going to do it. This will be a consistent effort, not only on our part, but the mayor's office is involved, the Homeless Impact Division, Metro Police, and Public Works as well is also involved. And I actually would not say that we are allowing folks to live in the park. You know better than anyone on the board that camping is not, or living in the park is not allowed at all. We are, though, coordinating with the Homeless Impact Division, the mayor's office, to make sure that we address this issue, and council members as well, address the issue in a productive way. I know it will not be, we don't have a speedy way to address it. As I mentioned last meeting, this is homelessness or displaced residents in our city is not a parks and recreation issue. We are, a symptom of a larger issue, and it's going to take all hands on deck. And so we are, while we do not criminalize, this, don't criminalize homelessness. We are part of a team to try to address it, and are, again, moving in coordination with Homelessness Impact Division to kind of put a dent in this ongoing and persistent issue. So we'll continue. That being said, we'll continue efforts.
Thank you so much for the
I just had a couple other things, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Don't mind.
I just did want to report that the Sportsplex and golf courses are in close communication, like our other divisions, close communication with the Metro Health Department to make sure that we are moving in a way that is prudent and consistent with health and safety guidelines, COVID guidelines, even to the point of sometimes we have to, while they will allow us to host maybe spectators at a particular event, we base that also on our staffing levels and what we are able to accommodate in these locations. So we're working very closely with them. And then finally, I wanted to mention, all of you generally knew that Janet Frazier, who had been my assistant most recently, but who had served 3 other parks directors other than myself, was retiring. Her last day of work here was Friday. And I honored her request, her direct request, that I not share when she was leaving on a widespread scale. I know that there were some of you who would have liked to have honored her at a big shindig, but based on Janet's request, we didn't do that, but we were able to share with her our appreciation for her service. She is still very much a member of the Parks family, and she will be missed. And Mary Peoples, as I mentioned a few months ago, came on board to train with Janet, and she will be has assumed the role as my assistant now. So be on the lookout for emails and such and communiques from Mary. Again, she's hit the ground running, so we're looking forward to working with her and indoctrinating her into the park's way of life. With that, that's all I have.
Commissioner Barnes, Scott Barnes.
Director Odom, I wanted to ask if there was an update on submitting the monument for Centennial Park to the state.
Yes, I will. I'll defer to if Macy Amos is on.
Yeah. Okay. So we have requested, the city of Memphis last year submitted a similar petition. So we have requested their petition. And then I also talked to some of the folks in management in our office, and we're going to get the petition that was recently filed with the state for the Nathan Bedford Forest Bust. So hopefully we just don't have to reinvent the wheel, and we can use, some of the language and terms that they've used in those petitions and ours. But it is on our radar. We are working on it. It's just not going to be a quick process. These petitions are very long and they're very involved.
I understand. Good. Thanks so much for the update.
Sure.
Are there any additional questions for Director Odom or Ms. Amos? Thank you both so much for your comments. We're going to move now to announcements, requests for future agenda items, and open items. Are there any from our board?
Hey, I just have a question. So the naming committee will meet prior to next month's meeting. Is that the plan?
That is correct.
Okay. And then we'll bring a recommendation and be able to vote on it at that next meeting.
Yes, that is correct.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just as a point of clarification, when the naming committee meets, because the naming policy has been revised and a portion has been included to require public input.
Right.
I'd expect that we initiate that kind of process or start with that process first. It will be publicly noticed and per outlined in the policy. So, yeah.
Right. And that's. So, Monique, are you thinking that the next meeting will start that process, or will we do the call for public input prior to next month's meeting?
I think that meeting will start that process.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions, comments? I want to acknowledge and say happy birthday to Director Odom. Why are you looking like that? She had a birthday a couple of days ago. Just want to say happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Steele.
I know the caveat.
Yeah, I know. You did not need to do that, but since you did, I'll go ahead and acknowledge your birthday on tomorrow.
I know everybody's excited about that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I already ordered my own cake.
Thank you. Thank you. I will now, seeing no hands, I will now accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second? All right. Y'all have a good day, a good rest of the week. It's good to see some faces and definitely hear your voices. We are adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.